Let's cross now to our correspondent in Washington, Kethevane Gorjestani, for more. Kethevane, as recently as this summer, Democrats were hopeful about the party's prospects in this vote. What factors have changed that over the past few weeks?
Well, that summer surge for the Democrats came really after the Supreme Court decided to overturn access to abortion in this country. And that led to a surge in anger among the Democratic base, but also a movement within the independents, within women in the suburbs, a drive in registration of women. And that led really to the Democrats really gaining a little bit of ground against the Republicans. Some dubbed it the summer of love for the Democrats. But it turned out that this was more of a summer fling. And when the reality of fall set in, things got a little bit more complicated for the Democrats, because in the end, that famous saying, "It's the economy, stupid," really turned out to be true. The focus for the American voters is the economy. All recent polls showing that even though a lot of voters feel that abortion, feel that democracy or other issues might be important, by far the number one priority, the number one concern for American voters of all stripes is the economy. And on that note, voters seem to favor the Republicans. They are blaming the party in office for the economic situation, and the Republicans have really seized on that. Most of their campaigning has been focusing really on the economy, on inflation, and maybe the Democrats had a little bit of a flawed strategy, counting too much on abortion, on democracy to motivate their voters. And that's why you're seeing those Republicans ahead in polling. They're all but certain of winning back control of the House. The question is how big that win will be. That said, even with this momentum for the GOP, Senate control still very much at play. And that is because in some of these key Senate races, there is a question about the quality of some of these Republican candidates that were picked by the Republican base, but that are struggling a little bit more in this general election. And we're going to see that come down to just several key races in the Senate that could decide who takes control.
Well, Kethevane, let's discuss the Donald Trump factor, especially when it comes to these key races. How much sway does he still hold over Republican voters? And we're also hearing something about a potential presidential announcement coming up soon.
Well, let's start with how much sway he has. These midterms are really a test. Is he still kingmaker, or could he be a liability? And I'm going to go back to those key Senate races that I was talking about. Take Pennsylvania, take Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. All of these races have Republican candidates that were endorsed by Donald Trump. They were more to the extreme right wing of the Republican Party. They beat out more moderate Republicans in the primary. But now in states where initially everyone agreed that if there had been a moderate Republican, these races should have been a done deal for the Republicans, you're seeing these races really being neck and neck within the margin of errors, and we're going to wait to see at the last minute who will win out in these races. So that is really the question. Can this Trump endorsement actually be a liability because he picked some very extreme candidates that won out in the primaries but struggled in the general? Or does he still have that Trump power that really trumps anything else in the Republican Party? And that will be very interesting. Why is it interesting to see if Donald Trump still has sway? Well, to your second point, there is talk about that 2024 run, the former president repeatedly saying he is very, very likely to do it again. We're hearing some reports about possibly an announcement sometime in mid-November.
Kethevane Gorjestani reporting from Washington on the upcoming vote Tuesday in the United States. Thank you.